was a comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Kandid Konvos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Coco on deck. Say what's up to the people, Coco.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Man, welcome back. Yeah, shout out to y'all for joining us tonight, man. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. Also, like I said, if you haven't hit that subscribe for all my YouTube folks, smash that subscribe button. So that's how you support the platform. That's how you support the channel, man. Let's say we on the road to 5,000. So like I said, help us get there. Hit that subscribe. Like I said, for all the viewers, hit that like button as well. Like I said, let us know it's real. But don't take nothing to hit no button. Hit that like button, man. Don't be stingy with them likes, man. All right, let me go through my housekeeping real quick. Then we'll get into this conversation. Here's the link right here to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. If you're coming through your Apple device, come on through your device. You know, we team Android over here, but come on through your Apple device, man. Join us in the conversation. Don't be scared. Let's say we welcome all perspectives. Yeah, this is not no echo chamber. Like I said, we want to hear from everybody. So here's the link right here to join us in the panel. Join us on the panel. In addition to the video feed here, we also have this link in the chat feeds as well. So you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on YouTube or Facebook and get it there as well. But yeah, man, don't be scared, man. Join us on the panel, man. Get in on this conversation. I said we got an interesting one tonight. So yeah, definitely join us. We'll lead us up here a little bit as we get into this convo. See what we got checking in. Shout out to the real one in the building. Say hello, everyone. What's going on, the real one? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, holding down the chat for us. Let me see what else we got. Let's see. Donovan in the building said, "What up, though?" Shout out to my Detroit folks. What up, though? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight as well, Donovan. See, he also said Team Android. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we don't play around, for sure. We don't play around. All right, cool. All right, man. I see we got a familiar face on here tonight. Renee is back in the building. What's going on, Renee? You good?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. How's everybody doing?
We doing well. You sound a little quiet over there. What's going on?
I'm just a nice, sweet girl. That's it.
I ain't mad at that. I appreciate you hopping back on. You saying something, Coco?
No, I said I believe you.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah. No, appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. Like I said, everybody watching, if you haven't smashed that like button for us if you're watching right now. All right, cool. So we're going to get right to it, man. Like I said, this might be a quick one. I'm going to try to keep it that way because we just got to handle this biz and do what we do. See, shout out to Kenyatta. She said, "Happy Wednesday." What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you hopping on with us as well, holding us down. All right, cool. So, yeah, let me drop this this topic, man, and we're gonna get right to it, man. Topic for tonight, Black culture is trash, part 2. And we back again, man. Topic for tonight, Black culture is trash, part 2. All right, let me change the layout a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, cool. So we back again, man. Y'all just couldn't let me chill out. I got stuff. Hold on. I got folks asking me for the links. Yes. All right, hold on. I got you. Hold on.
I was hoping we was gonna skate past this topic. I thought we was gonna miss this one, but guess not. People wanna know. They wanna know what we think. So
Yeah. No, it's hold on. I got all type of folks. Hold on one sec. My bad. Everybody hitting me up. All right, cool. I just sent all the links out. There y'all go. There were the links. Make sure I ain't got no comments I missed. Let's see. I got you, Vince. I just sent it to you, man. Oh, we got Cole in the building. What's going on, Cole? Appreciate it. I just sent you the link too, Cole. I saw your request. It's in your messenger. All right, cool. So yeah, man, I was trying to chill, man. You know, we get on here, we talk relationships. We talk about getting folks together, you know, getting your mind right, getting ready to get married, find your person, better yet, be found by your person, do things the right way. And then y'all just come out the woodworks with this nonsense, man. So now I got to pivot now, and I got to address this for all my people out here. So yeah, it's been all type of stuff on my timelines, YouTube and Facebook for that matter. IG, folks just been going at it.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok, it's just going wild. So I'm gonna put this one image up here because I think it just solidifies where we going tonight as we talk about this black culture. This black culture is trash, part 2. All right. So there's the image right here. Yeah, this is the image right here. Let me let Vince come on up here. This is the image right here. So let me give us context. So this is Young Miami, aka what she's calling herself, City Girl, part of the City Girl, aka Diddy's confidant, aka I don't even know what else to say about old girl, but she just okay. But there's the image right here. So we talking about this song. So this young lady, she done went viral with this song, this Spin That song. It's all over the place, all over social media. You know, I've been seeing celebrities doing little dances to it, little TikTok trends. I've even heard people labeling this the song of the summer.
Ooh.
And it's just done popped all the way off. So I've seen some of some of our, I call them our OGs, speak out about it. The NDI Reeds. I've seen, I think her name is Nikki Gilbert. I've seen her speaking about it. It's everywhere. But yeah, I want to have this conversation because I said I was going to try to leave this alone, but I can't, because at the end of the day, the basis of this whole channel is to move us in a better direction. And this type of stuff just keeps coming up. It keeps being an issue. And I'm like, here we go again. So I got a couple videos down here. And we're gonna go on and get on into this. Let me get this up off my screen. All right, let me get that up out of there. All right, so we're gonna get right. I'm gonna start with these, and we're gonna get into it.
Wait, hello. Hey, hello. That's the Erykah Badu version, by the way. Hello. Hey, hello. Okay. I have marks from my glasses. My third album, Testimony, Volume 1, Life and Relationship, turned 20 years old on Friday the 27th. It snuck up on me. Somebody had to tell me. And so that's why I'm making a video right now instead of writing about this on my Substack, which, if you know me, you know I like writing on my Substack. And you don't need to see that bowl back there. Okay. And I've been in the blogs a couple times this last week, and so I wanted to come and talk about these things. Let's talk about the easy one first. It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand for, and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it, so I know. And I'm telling you what it is, but you enjoy if that's what you want to do. And I will enjoy doing what I want to do. And that's why I don't think anybody needs to boycott. I think people just need to make choices for themselves. That's what I think.
All right, so that was our first response right there. Let me try to get y'all laid out. All right, cool. So that's our first response. I'm gonna run this second one, and we'll get into this conversation.
Is correct, but I'm trying to figure out how y'all went from condemning Young Miami because of her involvement with Diddy, and wasn't she writing letters while he was in jail, to now you're gonna rally behind her and attack anybody that has something to say about the type of message that she's putting out in her music. Like, it's been given up this whole time. I'm gonna just be real and say it. You can't wake nobody up that's not awake. So I'm not here to convince y'all, but let's call a spade a spade. Music is powerful, and the message that she's promoting in that song is not a good message. Is the song a hit? Yes, melodically, it's a hit. It's catchy. The beat is great. But is it a great message? No, and two things can be true at once. Okay? How did y'all switch up so quickly and forget what Young Miami was doing last year? I'll wait.
All right. Okay, so that was number 2 right there. So yeah, I want to get into this conversation because I'm tired. I'm tired. It's just like it's one thing after another. Let me just be blunt. It's one thing after another with my people, and I'm trying to figure out What do we got to do? What is going wrong? Where is the breakdown? Um, I've seen folks trying to justify this nonsense. Like, yeah, I don't know. Let me get these comments. I'm coming to the panel. Shout out to my guy Silver. He said it's another good Wednesday. Happy tidings all. What's going on, Silver? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, man. Appreciate you. We also got Cole that hopped on as well. I see her down there. So yeah, I'm coming to the panel, man. So what's your thoughts on this whole situation with this? I don't know if y'all have heard the song. I'm sure y'all probably heard the song by now. It's everywhere. What's your thoughts on it? You know what I'm saying? Is it a problem? Should we be saying something? Should we? Somebody convince me of something. So I'm coming straight to the panel. Coco, I see you off. And then anybody else, just, once Coco go, y'all come off, say whatever y'all want to say. Go ahead, Coco.
I mean, I'm gonna start off real simple and slow. Like, the people that are saying that this is just a song, that's all it is. It's just a song. It's just for fun. Like, let us have our fun. It's a fun song, right? The issue that I have with that is, if this was just a song and you guys it's just fun and it's just something to dance around to and it's just cutesy, then why are y'all fighting so hard for it? If it was just a song and it's not that big of a deal and it's not that deep, why are y'all fighting so hard for it? And to me personally, I know it's because it is that deep. Music does have power. The messages that we put out through media, whether it's social media, whether it's television, it's movies, it's music, the messages have power. That's why it's called television. That's why it's called that. Literally, they are telling you what to believe, literally. And I don't think people understand that. Like she was saying in another video, like, music, I think it was actually Nikki Gilbert that said this, music has frequencies, right? And our subconscious, we respond to this, right? This is why a certain song can come on and it can transport you to another time, a memory, a feeling, an emotion. This is why. So if the type of music we're taking in is glamorizing violence and criminality, and I don't care if it's from Young Miami or a dude, I don't really care. It doesn't matter who's the artist. So let's stop making it about a black woman. Like, it's not about her being black and female. It so doesn't matter. Like, can we get off of that? Like, I need y'all to put the feminism hat down for just a second and see that this is bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Nobody is attacking her because she's a black woman. It's because of the message in the music and what it's promoting. And it doesn't miss me that this is what's trending. Yeah, y'all are like, oh, well, that's just for some people. It's not for everybody. And if it's not for you, just move around. The problem is I can't move around. You are shoving it down my throat everywhere I go. I can't move around. I want to move around. I don't want to listen to it. I don't even want to know the song. I don't want to. I don't even listen to the radio, y'all. And I still know this song. And I'm move around how? Y'all are calling it the song of the summer. It's everywhere. Now it's making it to news stations and news reporters is dancing to it. And it's insane. It's insane, y'all. It's not just a song. It's not just a song. Y'all don't see how powerful it is? People all over the world are doing TikToks to this song from all different ethnicities. Music is very powerful. It always has been. What do you guys mean it's just a song? That's why I don't get it. It's like, no, it does matter. And you tell me what the variety is right now. Tell me what the variety is. Because when I turn the radio on, when I do listen to it, I don't. Or when I turn on social media, mad in my business, just trying to see something else. This is what I see. Where's all the other, where's the variety at? Y'all said we have variety. You said if I didn't want to listen to this, I could listen to something else. Something else like what? What else? Who else is being promoted right now that's wholesome? That's saying something positive. Who? Please, but I'll take recommendations. Drop them in the chat. Who? I'll land.
Okay, no, we appreciate that right there. Renee, Vince, Cole, I know if y'all want to say something, just come off mute, say whatever you want to say, or let me know you good. Go ahead, Renee.
So, not in the spirit of like pushback, but just in the spirit of full circle. Looking at the fact that like what you said, Coco, was very very profound. First thing you said reminded me of addiction. Like, oh, if it's not really that, if it's not really that important, why you fighting for it so hard? Like I've heard people who be like, I don't smoke weed. Like I don't even have to smoke weed. I don't man, I don't even need it. Like I just do it because I like it. And it's like, I mean, you don't need it. You're saying you don't need it, but yet you're pushing that hard for it. So that hit me real hard when you said that. That's what it reminded me of. And then I'm thinking, you said the frequency. So I'm like, okay, are they now addicted to this frequency? Is this now their new addiction, and that's why they can't give it up? You had also pointed at the fact that it brings back certain memories. So, okay, so this is going to be a summer that people remember. I think about when it's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. I'm young, in case anyone is
I
wondering.
got you. I got you.
I mean, it was the jam, and this was encouraging people to, divest. Um, and so it's tough because as I've gotten older, I'm hearing these said bangers, and I'm like, well, why would you listen to this? But then I do think about what was popping when I was, the young hip one, and everything was about my age group at that time, and how people older than me were saying similar things. Oh, back in my day, the music was this and the music was that. So I'm looking at this from like the whole perspective, not just like, okay, this particular song happens to be um, promoting something that I'm going to say most people in my generation would say is unsavory. Um, but the fact that when you're youthful, that you are going to go and gravitate towards things that are more taboo and considered more unsavory by older people. So I wouldn't say that the song is great, but I would say, can we make sure that we're paying attention to the fact that it is these young kids, and this is kind of the same thing we did when we were that age. So we also were touching on, because I know that at the bottom it says like Black culture in itself. So remember, there is like an India RE, but then there's like a PJ Morton who is putting out, I mean, absolutely amazing, beautiful, uplifting work. I follow a woman named Erica Mason. She's absolutely incredible. She's a rapper, but all of her rap is um, uplifting, positive. She'll speak from some of her personal experiences and say, "Hey, I don't know if you're going through this," and it's just all very, very positive. So there are these artists out there, but what happens is, let's look at, I guess, the bigger picture. Who goes global? And it's the people who have global money to back them, who are promoting these things. So for us to say it's just straight up Black culture, I don't think so. I think it's a global agenda that realize that Black people do have influence. So basically, the same way they're paying Michael Jordan to sell Michael Jordan sneakers, the same way they're paying whosoever celebrity to sell whosoever to whoever, they're backing what their agenda is. So if this girl just so happens to be very influential, well, then that's why she was able to get that backing that she got. So I wouldn't say that we keep getting told, oh, but that's Black culture. I'm like, no, that's technically young Miami culture, and she got enough money behind her to push it. She just so happens to be Black. Because the things that I see in my culture are things like family values, most of us growing up in the church, the thing that we would say, uh, I've seen like the videos and stuff where they'll do like the social experiment, and the guy goes up to people and he says, "Hey, I'm having a bad day. Can I have a hug?" And it's always some older Black woman who's, "Oh, come here, baby. Oh, I got you. Oh, let me give you a big hug, baby." Or something like that. And these are all the aspects of Black culture that I'm used to. But now we got a bunch of people trying to spew that this one single song or one genre of music within a genre, because it's like trap music within the rap or hip hop industry. This one subgenre of a genre is all Black culture, and it's like, no, this is one kind of a youthful culture that has a snappy beat that, you know, if I'm at a club, I would might dance to, because it has a, like, you know, it has a good beat to it. Um, then there's the what it technically portrays, right? Is it portrays, it said, where's the scammers and such ad and spend it and all the other stuff. So one of the issues that I'm noticing globally is we are under this belief system as Black people that the best way to do everything is just work hard and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This is a phrase that we've been hearing for a few hundred years. And we know that it is the people who have the money and the power to push these agendas did not do it by pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. So it almost kind of seems like what she's pushing is stop following these raggedy people's game and play the game that they play to get where they're at. Because the thing is, you're not going to have the influence and the money and the power to get the respect until you do what it takes to get the money and the power. And it's like, okay, we're so morally unsound if you don't do it, but I'm like, then we're watching all the unmoral people get the money and the power and then keep pushing whatever they want. If we're in belief system that we would do better if we had said power, then we need to do what it takes to get that power. And one of those things might be the scams and all this other stuff. But remember that there, just think about I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but the Epstein files. These people have literally done these single worst crimes across the planet. And nobody's paying them any mind and saying, oh, well, no, we need to boycott them. Look at these Epstein culture. Nobody even is saying anything. And these are the single most vulgar and horrific things I've ever heard. And then that's on top of 400 years of these single most vulgar things that I've ever heard. On top of the UN just voting it, the slave trade, as the single worst crime on the planet. And yet, the single worst crime on the planet we're not discussing. We're discussing spend that ish, spend that ish. So, like I said, when I hear people say that it's just such a bad message, I'm like, is it? Is it really fully that bad of a message, or is it only bad of a message because rich people who go and do crimes, they don't pay for it, they don't have any consequences, so it's technically not bad because there's no punishment for it. But when we were to do that, what would happen? We'd get caught, we'd get punished, we'd get the perp walk, we'd get paraded around to show, hey, you, when you do a crime, this is what will happen to you, so you better follow our rules.
The only pushback I have with that, go ahead. Go ahead, Vince. Go ahead, Vince.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm 53, so I'm a child of hip hop. I grew up when hip hop started. And I think the problem that we have, our culture is trash. Because culture is a common belief, common values, and what is expressed in society. Anything over 50% is normal. So if you look at it, over 50% of our children are born out of wedlock. That's culture. We marry and divorce at the highest rates of any other race. That's culture. Now, if you look back at it, we not always have had this culture. It used to be a time where Black people were known for not just church, but living saved. There's a difference. I see more preachers and deacons at the Chris Brown Usher concert with their 12-year-olds. And another thing is that the difference with now and then is, yeah, we had Lil Kim. We had NWA. We had Ice-T. All these others. But we also had Public Enemy. We also had The Balance. We also had saved grandparents who wasn't listening to that mess. We had a balance. We had church value, real church values, not this fake stuff we have now where Jesus is just Santa Claus. Just ask me for something. Give me a husband. Give me a job. He's not our Lord. Because the Lord means having authority over you. But now it's, we just do anything. Anything goes. We used to have a culture of family. It used to be, you got that girl pregnant, y'all got married. Because in the black house, a man took care of his family. Okay, you made that mistake. Okay, you got to marry that woman. Nice, but you ain't got to get married. Just have babies. And then also what the young lady was talking about, I don't know if you know that Young Miami's mama went to prison for killing someone in the middle of a scam. Her and her boyfriend was driving in a car. It was a high-speed chase. They hit somebody. She went to jail for 5 years for vehicular manslaughter, for stealing out of Adventura Mall in Florida. So this hit home for Miami. That's like me singing about my dope fiend daddy who got murdered at the grocery market on 8 Mile and Schaefer when I was 2 years old. Yeah, my daddy is a heroin addict and went there and stole. Really? No, our culture is trash. And I knew it was trash when we had the first black female presidential candidate put Megan Thee Stallion to say, oh, well, we need to get the young black culture to vote. And you get Megan Thee Stallion, who talks about popping that, spending that. What are we teaching our girls? What are we teaching our young men? This is more than just music, because the difference is we had parents who told us, no, that's not the right way. Now our parents are saying, yeah, it don't matter. Our grandmamas is trying to be hot like our mamas. My grandmother wouldn't dare be out clubbing with my aunts. When did this happen? You know what I'm saying? So we've lost respect and authority for our elders. Now nobody can say anything to anybody. It seems like NDRE would have the respect of the community to say, you know what, Auntie right. It used to be a time where we had that respect for authority and for our elders to really check us. But now, oh, well, she just jealous because Young Miami fine. Young Miami hot. NDRE just ugly, you know. No. And our culture is trash. Because what we are known for is not the best of us. It's not the best of us. It's funny because you know when people ask certain things. Like they'll ask me, Vince, your kids got any grandkids yet? Before they ask me have my kids gotten married. In other cultures, when they get married? When's your daughter getting married? When's your son's getting married? They're married, family. Ours is, you got any babies? You going to baby showers? You know, how's your son? He ain't in prison, is he working? So we have to really be understanding of what's really going on out here and stop blaming everybody else. I'm sick of the blame game. You know what I'm saying? Because most of y'all know my story. I had a child at 17 years old. Had another one at 22. That ain't had nothing to do with no slavery. That had to do with me making bad decisions. So we can sit up here and, oh, well, we have a systematic slavery and systematic this and systematic that. No, we don't. We got to get to that point. My teenagers, oh, well, I can't work for nobody. I got to be an entrepreneur. I ain't going to be working hard. But your daddy worked at Ford for 30 years and built this life and was able for you to go to college. And now that's the white man's job. And, I got to be an entrepreneur. Not understanding that entrepreneurs are the most broke people in the world. You need to get your job. And my thing is, we act like most wealth is first generational wealth. We act like most millionaires are first generation millionaires. Yes, some people had parents who had money, but most, I'm gonna say over 70% of millionaires are first generation millionaires who worked hard. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get out of this thing where, oh, well, they had a hand up and they had a this and they had a that. And I know because most of my neighbors are others, and I barely see them because you know where they are? They're at work. Two of them are entrepreneurs. They're always at work. They're at work, and the kids are at work with them. Our kids don't want that. No, I don't want to go work. So we just have to be honest, and I'll move on. But yes, our culture is trash, and I don't know if we have enough people who actually want to make a change to make it better.
That's real. Appreciate that comment right there. Go ahead, Coco, and I'm gonna come back to the panel.
I was gonna say, I'll say this real quick, and then I don't know. I know we have a video that actually kind of speaks to this. I don't know if you want to play that relatively soon, because it will tie into where the conversation has kind of gone. I would just say this too, like the way that we attribute this to the culture is the fact that, like you said, right, there is an agenda. And there are people, the people in control, the people who run all of these media companies, they don't look like us, right? But this is the messages that they want to push out to the world with our faces and us as the representation of these messages, right? So it then becomes a representation of us in our culture, whether we want to accept that or not. This is the representation. So when I see an Asian chick in Korea dancing to Spin That, she don't know any better. So that's us to her. That's who we are to her. So we have to have some accountability because we're the ones that are making these things go popular. Yes, don't get me wrong. They're pushing it. But just because they push it doesn't mean we have to listen to it. Doesn't mean we have to buy it. Doesn't mean we have to be making TikToks with it. We don't have to do that. We don't have to support it. We don't have to support it. So that means there's something in us that relates to this, that likes it, that enjoys it, that adopts it. That's what makes it then our culture, right? Because we adopt it, it becomes our story. And that's the problem with it, right? This is just one piece of the things that we see going on, right? And we're speaking in generalities because I know not everybody on this panel is about that scamming life. But unfortunately, we have to speak to the majority of people. We have to speak to the general population. And unfortunately, this is somebody's story. But why do we want to sensationalize it? Why do we want to promote it? And I think that's the problem. And I'm also not from the camp that I'm ready to lay all of my problems at the feet of somebody else. Because I can't say that I have autonomy. I can't say I have control over, at least at the very bare minimum, myself. But then lay all of my problems at somebody else's feet and say what I can't do or what I can't achieve or where I can't go because somebody is not allowing me or they are controlling, right? Because we're sitting on this platform right now. Who is stopping us from doing this? We're having a very important conversation that's important to our culture. Who is stopping us from doing this? So it's like at a certain point, you have to go, I understand that there may be some discriminatory practices. I understand that there are things going on. And I understand the history and I'll say it this way, the history that we've been taught, right? Taught. Because I know things that don't coincide with what they've been teaching us and telling us. So I know the history that we've been taught. However, I choose to live my life like my ancestors who built banks and schools and churches and communities. So I don't have the mindset that I can't do something because somebody trying to stop me. I don't have that mindset. But I do understand where people are coming from, because at the end of the day, there absolutely is an agenda about the Black community and against the Black community. Unfortunately, we participate. So at what point are we going to hold ourselves accountable for that participation in the process?
Facts. All right, let me hold on, Renee. Let me circle around real quick. Then I'm gonna let you respond. Actually, no, let me let you get it off real quick. Then I'm gonna come around to the fellas. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, so just a quick response, because Vince and Coco kept repeating a certain talking point that I had said about a lot of things going on systemically, and then also the people who hold all the money, which then means that they hold all the power, and then have the power to push certain agendas. I feel as though you're saying it as though I'm like, oh, we need to just, sit down and cry about it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is something similar to, what's a good way to describe this? Okay, I'm saying that if there is a woman who is overweight, right, and she would like to lose some weight, telling her that she's just an ugly fat ass is probably not going to be the best motivation. But if you then go and do some blood work and you find out, hey, it looks like you're having a hormonal issue, or you're premenopausal, so this is one of the things that is a big factor in you not losing the weight you're trying to lose, right? Instead of her, going down on herself and maybe just going and eating a whole bunch of food because she just feels like a miserable failure, reminding her that that it's not just that you're some miserable failure. There are some other things. So don't give up just yet. You know what I mean? Don't beat yourself up so much that you end up not actually doing anything. And then don't beat up other people who are unable to lose this weight because of the fact that they may have a hormonal issue. They may be, going through whatever it is they're going through. Their parent may have died. You know what I mean? So when you guys say it, you say it like, oh, I'm not in that victim mentality. And I'm like, I don't think it's a victim mentality. I see it as a full circle mentality. I see it as knowing each and every aspect of what is affecting my weight loss, and then being able to take measurable acts or do measurable things against all the factors, not just feeling bad about the fact that things are the way they are.
I understand that. So just to respond to that real quick, then we'll come back to the fellas. So I understand that, Renee. But I think even in that instance, you're talking about a certain type of woman. So certain women will want to know all aspects of what she has going on because her focus is still to make the changes and to lose the weight. But we also know at the same time that there's young ladies who don't want to know. They just gonna make excuses and say, oh, no, I'll be too tired from work, so I don't feel like going and walking around the block and doing this, doing that. Because at the end of the day, they really don't want to make the changes, right? So that's when the victim presentation comes in. That's when the excuses comes in. And at the end of the day, nobody is stopping her from making those changes but her. She just doesn't want to make the changes. So I understand what you're talking about. Like I said, you're talking about somebody that's serious about making changes because they've made their mind up that it's time for them to do something different. Yeah, but they don't want to do the victim thing anymore. They want to get the weight off because they tired of putting on their clothes and seeing whatever little rolls she may be seeing, or they tired of looking at their stomach and they like, no, I got to fix this. So their whole approach and their mindset around that change is going to be totally different. And this was my only I guess rejection to some of what you were saying earlier in your first statement when you talked about these things are not our culture. Yep, I agree with you. These things were not our culture, but they become our culture. Yeah, you mentioned two things. You mentioned Jordans. Jordans wasn't our culture. But now we literally compare men based off of what type of shoes they be out here wearing. We'll look at a dude wearing some Jordans, and then we'll make attachments. Oh, this dude must got a little something going on. Oh, he might got a little money. Oh, he over there, he got them new J's on, them $300 Jordans. We actually will make comparisons off people based on the type of shoes that they wearing. So now Jordans, which ain't got nothing to do with us, they made over in Asia somewhere. They probably cost $5 to produce, but they charge us $250, $300 a pair. That has become a part of culture. Yeah, but we see that across the spectrum. There's all type of stuff that has become culture. Jordans, Cartier glasses, all this, you know, the Louis V, the Gucci, all this stuff has become black culture. You have certain ladies, there you go, there you go, Vince. Certain ladies don't, you know what I'm saying? Certain ladies compare themselves to other ladies based on the brand that's on their purse. Like, so this stuff becomes culture. You know, fellas now, they compare themselves to each other based on the type of car they drive. Like, this stuff becomes our culture. Yet we adapt these things. Yep, this whole Young Miami thing, you know what I'm saying? This young Miami as a person and what she's portraying, this becomes our culture. Yeah, at the end of the day, the first picture that I put up, this is her video to the song. It's based in a strip club. Yeah, she's in a strip club getting money thrown at herself, talking about spin that. Yeah, these young girls in our culture see that. And they're going to say to themselves, you know what? Instead of this 9 to 5, I want to go get this quick money she getting. So now I want to go get up on this pole. Take it a step further. If you've seen the video to the song, she has Nene Leakes in the video. Nene Leakes is one of the Real Housewives. Yep, there's a lot of young ladies today that idolize them females on that show. Yep, Nene was a stripper. Yeah, so it's like these things were not our culture, but they become our culture because we absorb it and then we want to emulate it. Yep, and that pulls it into our culture. So that's the issue. So I understand what you're saying, but I think we have to keep in mind that in some of these situations, when we talk about this influence, we're talking about different types of folks. Yep, some folks, they can't see the difference. And that can be based off upbringing. That can be based on, their surroundings, however they was isolated, what experiences they've had. And then some folks can. But at the end of the day, the masses, and these folks know that, who push this stuff, the masses are easily influenced. Yeah, that's when people make this reference to sheep. Yeah, we got a lot of sheeple out here. Yep, and the Young Miamis and whatever record label is behind her, they know that. Yeah, the same folks who behind Michael Jordan in these shoes. Yeah, Jordan, he barely wear these shoes. Every time I see this man out in public, he rarely ever has on a pair of these shoes. Yeah, but these companies that's behind it, they already know it's a lot of easily influenced people out here who, because they trying to keep up with the Joneses and everything else, and then they use material things to justify and validate their existence, they know that they can push this stuff and people go and absorb it. So yeah, that's the thing. I think we just got to keep that in mind. This stuff was not our culture, but it definitely becomes our culture because of the way that we move and the way that we think about things. It's easy to influence us with this nonsense. Let me come back to the panel real quick. Let's see. Civil, Beatboxer, Joe, Cole. Y'all want to say anything? Come off mute. Say whatever you want to say. The floor is yours. Y'all good?
I'll jump in if nobody else has anything to say.
Go ahead, Civil. What's on you?
All right, for sure. First of all, just really happy to be back on the show. It's been a long time. I've been super duper busy. But hopefully the next episode y'all do, I'll shoot it from the sauna I just built. So for sure. The one thing I do want to kind of allude to and bring up is I'm kind of in the middle between Renee's point of view and everyone else's that's spoken thus far. I do believe that there is an overarching character that's kind of manipulating us. And that manipulation has kind of become our culture in a way. Because if I wear an American hat, if I'm at home woodworking, that doesn't necessarily scream black culture to people. Although I know plenty of black woodworkers who wear the American hats and are woodworking in their yards. So a lot of times, like, that is forgotten, and the popular culture, which is like the artists, the singers, the dancers, the athletes, that's what's kind of put forth as what is success in our culture, versus the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, the scientists, the things that if everyone actually applied and went to go do it, could be successful at it, versus a lower than 1% chance of going pro in some type of sport. we we are manipulated right now, and it's not necessarily one color, one race. It's money. It's control through us needing to perpetuate wealth with a fancy bag when we either live in an apartment or are living paycheck to paycheck. And that's if you're making $5,000 a week or $70,000 a week. If you're paycheck to paycheck, it really does not matter. But ultimately, there is a point in which we have to take personal accountability. And this is not as a culture as a whole, but as each and every individual, in which we can then enrich our own lives, have families, put something into our children so that they have better opportunities. Like Vince alluded to earlier, most wealth is earned in that first generation, but that first generation typically has help. They had a father who was a blacksmith, they had a father who was a plumber. And when he passed, he left them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Versus in the black community, a lot of times when our parents pass, we're left with debt. And these are things that hold us and shackle us and prevent us from actually being able to take that next step culturally, which is why we're kind of just still stuck. There's a couple more things I actually want to get into, but the panel's actually pretty large tonight, so I'll let everybody get into it. Again, thank you guys for having me back.
No doubt, man. Beatboxer, Joe, Cole. I know if y'all want to say something, come off mute, say whatever you want to say. Go ahead, Cole.
I had a quick comment. First of all, good evening, everybody. I'm a little jet lag from traveling,
What's
but
all good? What's
I
going
was like,
on?
let me make the time. I definitely agree with Civil's point. In addition to that, to me, it's like it's just giving an excuse because I feel like what's not happening is the self reflection, and I think I talk about that a lot. Like, where is the self reflection? Where is the time set out to question yourself and where you are? Take yourself out of the equation. Like, look at the masses. Look at what you're trying to do. Um, so I just say it's giving an excuse, bare bones.
Okay, straight like that. I ain't gonna leave that right there like that.
Mm-hmm. You know it.
I ain't man. I appreciate that. Beatboxer, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. I see you off. Go ahead, man.
To piggyback real quick off Civil's comment about how we are we are highly influenced, but yet also simultaneously influential. So we're influenced to be influential to other people and to our own communities and our own cultures in the worst possible way. Um, and it's largely because we are recognized all over the world. Our music, our dance, our culture, the things that we make up, our creativity. It used to be, um, you have female rappers like Queen Latifah, MC Light, Left Eye from TLC. It used to be UNITY to WAP to Spin That to Nicki Minaj to Foxy Brown. And it's like, how do we devolve from that to this in a span of only 2 or 3 decades? Basically, from the time I was born to now. Um, it started off with us having control, owning our own voice, having standards, like Vince mentioned, the public enemy. Um,
Joe, I think we hold on, Joe. I think we starting to. Can y'all hear Joe? It's like his audio starting to fade. Is that just me?
Breaking up just a little bit.
oh, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, it's like your audio, your mic is starting to fade or something, Joe.
I think that's
Say
better.
it again.
Mic check, mic check.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know where I left off at, but I'll just end with saying that Black culture has been trashed for a long time. Didn't used to be that way, and it's very, very sad. Black American culture I should specify. I've been around other Black cultures that is not American, and they still have their head on straight. They still promote healthy music, wholesome music, families. I've seen it with my own eyes. We don't. We just promote death and destruction, popping pills and popping pussy, and slanging dick. I mean, that's what we about for the most part. Obviously, that's a blanket statement. Obviously, that's not always the case, but it used to be the opposite in terms of the influence, the Marvin Gaye's and Michael Jackson's, then switch to Chris Brown, even Chris Brown. I mean, that breaks my heart. I remember how he was when he first came out, like innocent love songs and very, very Michael Jackson-esque, even Usher. And then they got more and more risque. And I distinctly remember the switch when they made it. And when they made this, I think it was when Chris Brown came out with that "These Hoes Ain't Loyal." He came out with that, realized, oh wait, this is making me more money than the stuff I used to do. But he was already very successful with the stuff he used to do. So we make a choice. We're influenced and influential in the sense that we're influenced by money. We're influenced by people on the chessboard. We're the pawns. Everyone else are the kings, the queens, the rooks, the spades. But we are the ones that get taken off the board first. We're the ones that get sacrificed the most. But we also outnumber everyone else. So that's the influenced and influential. Can't have us to be unless they need us to influence other people, and we're just dumb enough to accept the okie doke.
That's real. That's real right there. Appreciate that comment. B-Boxer, you good, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Y'all can go to the next video.
All right, it's all good. I got a couple down. Let me go to this next one.
Being had about Spend That is actually about being politically correct. And I thought we were past the point as Black folks where we were trying to be politically correct. Because who are we trying to impress? The oppressors? And then saying that this is a poor reflection of us as Black people. To whom? To the original scammers and boosters? They was literally boosting people from their countries. It had to be made illegal to stop stealing people from their countries for forced labor. And I'm not mad at the people who be boosting and scamming. You know why? Because what I'm actually mad at is the disproportionate spread of wealth across races that forces people to have to boost and scam in order to get ahead or even to just get school clothes for their kids. And I'm not even about to get into how all of the rap girlies been rapping like this, because we already know that. But wanting to boycott a song and stop somebody from getting a Grammy instead of boycotting the systems of oppression that are currently working against us is crazy work. Diabolical.
Go ahead, Coco.
You know what's crazy? Complaining about the very institutions that you want to get awarded from. That's diabolical. It's crazy to me how we'll get on here and we'll say stuff like this, like, oh, these institutions and they did this and they did that. And it's like, okay, you're not wrong. I'm not saying they didn't do these things. So then why are we supporting it at all? Like, why are we supporting? I think Vince is got frozen. I'm sorry.
There's two of them.
I get it.
Why are we supporting that? Like, why is that even a topic of conversation? You're worried about us boycotting the song and hurting her chance of getting a Grammy, or maybe hurting her chance of making a coin from the very institution that you're saying is oppressing and scamming. And it's weird, right? Like, I'm gonna need y'all to choose. I'm gonna need y'all to pick, what are we doing here? Because we can't be out here saying, let's boycott these people because they're oppressing us. Let's boycott Target. Let's boycott the Asians. Let's boycott this. Let's boycott that. But at the same time, we compete in this system. We play in the system. We want to be accepted. We want to be awarded. We want to be acknowledged by the very people that we're saying we shouldn't impress. That's weird. You don't. Why are we trying to impress them? Oh, this is about being politically correct. But please give me a Grammy. It's just weird, right? Like, am I the only person that thinks this is weird? You can't say you don't care about how you look in front of these people and impressing them, but at the same time want them to give you your Grammy with blood on it. Like, it's weird. So it's like, I hear y'all argument, but because of the way y'all are acting, it's very hard for me to accept that.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like y'all are confused. You got to stand on something. You got to actually stand on it. That means there may be some sacrifice that you have to make in order to do that. You can't say, I don't want to impress these white folks and I don't want to tap dance and I don't want to do this. I should have to do that for them. But then want their Grammys and want their approval and want, it's weird. And then I'll say this again. If y'all are saying they were so horrible for boosting people and anything else that they wanted, then why are you following in their footsteps? It's weird, right? It's like they were wrong. They had to put laws in place, but you know what? Since they did it, we're going to do it too. What? Am I the only one that's like, that makes sense to y'all? So because they were wrong, let me run off and let me do it too.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like it's just a bunch of effing excuses. It's just but because most people are in the situation that they're in because they put themselves in that situation. If you can't afford to have kids, don't have them. I had a kid at 17, so I experienced that. I had to work 3 jobs. I went, well, I had this kid and y'all need to help me. No, I put myself in this situation, so I got to get myself out of it. I am so sick of this victim trained bullshit. Mm-hmm. And you know what what I think the issue really is that we're not in that position, because if we own these companies, we would do the same thing they do. They talk about white privilege, it's black privilege. You know what I'm saying? It's because we are not in the position. So it's like, well, since I'm not in the position, then I'm going to say, well, it's white privilege. If we own the companies, we would help our people too. Ain't that what we supposed to do? Pull somebody up as we go up? It's just because we don't own the company. I got the same situation, and I'm going to be transparent. I own the business. My son got black privilege. He do. And you think that oh, well, nah, Dad, put me like everybody else. I want to start at the bottom. Nah. He don't do that. No, Dad, don't, nah. He take his privilege because his daddy owned the business.
Vince, may I please ask you, because you originally, when had said something about all of these people want to go and be entrepreneurs, they need to just get a job, and now you're switching to running the business, and that's we need to be running.
No. I'm not switching because my business, I worked for my business 30 years before I became the boss. 30 years while I was working for someone else. It's my family business. So I was working there and working somewhere else. You know how many people come to me because Cash Doll said, I own a group home. How many people come to me, hey, Vince, I want to open up a group home, man. I said, well, first of all, maybe you need to go work for a group home first. Maybe no, I don't want to do that. I just want to come in as the owner. I ain't working for nobody. I just want to start at the top. And people, I'll be looking at people. I looked at my application the other day. It said 1989. This is 2026. I've been there since 1989. And how the business was started was because my grandfather worked at Chrysler for 30 years and was able to save to start a business. It wasn't like our kids want, oh no, I don't want to work at McDonald's. No. I want to own the McDonald's. I don't want to work for nobody. I want to own it. But they don't understand, well, you got to pay taxes, right? You really don't make a profit. And then they want to go into something that don't make no fucking money. They want to be influencers. They want to sell T-shirts and hats and bullshit. They don't want to be plumbers and electricians. Everybody want to be an influencer because they seen cosmonauts. You know what I'm saying? It's like we've lost the real work that actually built the middle class. We are like the first and second generation where our kids are not going to do as good as us.
Well, not your kids.
What you mean?
You said that you created something and made sure to pass it down for your personal kids.
And they don't even want it.
Okay, so then why don't you just find a wonderful black kid who does?
I might have to.
I think that would be amazing. And then he's going to end up teaching
But
other
the
black kids that may
problem,
not know you that there are
Renee,
opportunities like that out there, and then maybe it could start spreading. It's
but
called
Renee,
teach one,
the
teach
problem
one.
with our culture is that our kids don't want to do what we. You know how many?
But there are a lot of kids
Wait a
that
minute.
do
Let
and
me
need
finish.
you.
Let me finish, Renee. Let me finish. But these, I got my neighbors, and it's because we don't have family. Yes, my older kids don't want to do it because they wasn't raised in the house with me.
I know some
They don't
kids
have
that
the
would love that
appreciation.
opportunity.
And I'm not gonna go get some stranger off the street. No, I'd rather sell it to Motown. Cause I'm writing back a Motown. I got my building is probably gonna be worth millions of dollars. And these kids, oh well, no, Dad, I don't want to do that. I
I
want
got
to.
2 kids that are ready. Their mother is passing away. They're 22 and 25. Wonderful young boys. Their mother is on hospice right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I send them to you because they are looking for the next opportunity, could you
Do they
help
want to work? Do they want to start at the bottom?
every day?
Okay.
Every
Well,
day.
we'll talk. We'll talk.
Okay.
You know, just
Okay.
I'm on Facebook. I'm friends with Quay, so just look me up.
Okay, I will
Just
do.
but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that it's our culture is missing something. There's not the respect, even with these other cultures. I just went to the tailor. His son is working the cash register, going to get his master's in accounting, but he has enough respect and reverence for this family business that we gonna keep this going. Yeah, I might be a CPA, but I'm still gonna make sure I learn how to hem a suit. And our boys are not getting that from our fathers. These boys don't know how to do nothing. They can't change tires. They don't know how to get out there and paint because our culture is broken, because our families are broken. And until we actually realize that and get it, it's not going to work. Because I don't even really, to me, if it's a child after the age of 7, I feel like it's almost too late. These mentoring ships and all that. We don't need mentors. What we need is fathers.
You mean it's over, Vince? You mean it's over?
What we
Huh?
need is fathers. We don't need these mentors. By the time is 7, 8, they ain't listening to you no way.
Hey man, it's over.
They not listening to you no way. My son is in 100 Black Men. When when we had the initial interview, out of maybe 100 boys, you know what their first response was for what they wanted to do? Guess.
Basketball player.
Thank you. I play basketball. I play video games.
Oh, that
Yep.
sucks, man.
Yeah.
That's so
I play
embarrassing.
basketball. I want to play basketball, and I want to play video games. And you 5'3".
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
That's even worse.
That's it.
Well, could we steer them into coaching maybe? I mean, if they're really
No,
good, even if
we
they're
don't
not
need to
tall.
steer them nowhere. What we need to
Okay.
do is throw
Other
all of
sports.
it away. I'm gonna tell you what we need
So
to
don't
do.
steer them anywhere. Don't
We
help
need to.
them. Just give up.
I'm not saying.
No.
What I'm saying
It's
is
not what
that
he said.
That's what I'm saying.
we have to. It's like
Yeah.
to me, it's like our generation are like the children of Israel. I think we just go have to die in the wilderness
Woo. Ooh. My
and
God.
start all over again. I
Ooh.
think it's too far gone because
No,
you
we
can't
got a
tell
remnant.
nobody. You
There's
can't
a
tell
remnant.
nobody that. You can't tell a sister or a brother, don't get married. Don't have no kids out of wedlock. Get yourself together before. Oh, who you telling me, man? I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm a black strong woman. I don't need no man. I don't need no husband. I'm gonna go get my degree so I don't have to have no husband. And then you wait till you're 40 years old. Now you're looking for a husband. when you should have got one like everybody else got one at 24 and 25 and built together, like every other generation, like every other people do. But we got this strange culture, like we can't depend on each other because yeah, our grandmothers was getting beat, and they couldn't buy houses, and our granddaddies had babies around the block, and that.
Well, sir, I just
Really?
asked you for help, and I kind of got condemned.
No, I didn't say
But
them. I said look
we
me
can
up.
trust each other.
No, what I said was I'm friends with Craig. Look me up on Facebook if they're willing to work.
Yeah, I
That's
can
all I
tell.
said. But see,
I
I
can tell y'all
also
good.
know. But see, I also know when you start telling people how to do and what to do, sometimes they don't want to do it. They want to either well, just let no. You got to get the training. Do you even? And then my thing is, you have to have really a love. I deal with the mentally ill. So you first of all, you got to have the love for this. This is not sweeping the floor. This is dealing with people's mental illnesses. You have to have the love for this. So if you don't have the love, I can't really do nothing with you because I don't feel like you have to have the love to do what I do. It can't just be about the money.
Yeah,
You
so
have to, I'm willing, I'm the owner of the company and I still wipe asses every day and love it. Love my guys. So if you don't have that type of love, I can't really work with you. And see, people see, oh, a cash style, group homes. Everybody want a group home. Everybody, but you don't want to put the sweat equity in. You just want the end result.
With
But
the image, perhaps.
our culture used to want the sweat equity. You used to say, just give me that job sweeping floors, and if it's the best job, I'm gonna make it work for me until I get something better.
Mm-hmm.
But these kids are always, the white man, they racist. You just a bad employee. No, you're just too emotional.
Yeah, no, I understand that, Vince. And I've spoken on that before on the show. I think some of that the parents have to own. Yeah, but the reason why I say that is because I think that some of us got in this mindset like our lives was so bad. So it's like when you know what I'm saying, when some of those folks brought kids into the world, it's just like, no, I don't want my kid to I'm just going to go back there for a minute. I don't want my kid, getting spankings like I used to. That was just so bad. So now I'm gonna be what they say, a gentle parent. Or I used to have to go work this 9 to 5, and I was working in this restaurant kitchen, dealing with all this old dirty stuff or whatever. Now I don't want my kid to have to deal with that. So I'm gonna make sure, I put this money away so they ain't got to deal with that. They can just go ahead and ride in the sunset. And I think sometimes because we took on this mindset that our childhoods was so bad, which they really weren't, we've kind of coddled the kids today. So now when somebody gets to talking about hard work, these young folks, they don't want to hear that. They don't understand that world. Yeah, when somebody talk, like to your point, Vince, when somebody get to talking about sweat equity, they don't know what that is. Yeah, when somebody get to talking about changing tires, they don't even understand that language. Yeah, see, a lot of us, we got hand-me-down cars. Yep, mama had the car. They passed it on down to the kid. You got the car, so now you got to work on your car if you want to stay on the road. So you changing tires. You over here up under the hood trying to change oil and everything else. Because first of all, ain't nobody about to be paying for you. You had to figure it out on your own. But because it was yours, you had to learn these skills to be able to, keep things moving. Yeah, but see now, the parents, they want to go out and buy brand new cars. I don't want my kid to get stranded on the side of the road. I don't want them to have to learn. And see what you're missing is now they don't get a chance to learn the lessons. Yeah, they don't learn the lesson of getting stranded on the side of the road and having to go in the trunk and pull the jack out and flip a tire. Like they miss all of that. Yeah, but it almost breeds entitlement. So then when somebody get to talking about working hard, they don't even understand what that means. And then two, as we talking about this culture, Then they go look at what they see. And they go see DDG talking about he making $1 million a week streaming on Twitch. And they go see this influencer talking about they making 100,000 every 2 minutes, vlogging all day and so forth. So then they feel like, well, no, what I need to work hard for? Yep. And at the end of the day, if anything is going to be long-term sustainable, it always involves hard work. Yeah, I think that's the piece that people miss. Yep, it always involves hard work. Yep, I don't care if it is DDG. I don't care what my man is making a month. Y'all don't see the behind the scenes. Y'all don't know what the paperwork look like. Y'all don't know what the equipment cost is. Y'all don't know what his overhead is. Y'all don't know if my man's sleeping at night. Y'all don't know if his kid is missing out on quality time with his father. Y'all have no idea. Y'all just see the finished product and say, I want that because it looks easy. Yeah, but at the foundation of all of this, like Civil was talking earlier, it's always some hard work. It's always some good hand-involved, hands-on work. Yep, and we can't get away from that. Yeah, but our culture today is everything easy. Everything is quick. Yep, everything is spend that. Everything is buy something. Everything is spend some money that you ain't got. Everything is keep up with the Joneses. Like we so far from what made us what we have inside of us. Yeah, we done got so far away from that. Yeah, like Coco said, we was building towns and banks and businesses and hospitals and all of that. And it's just like now, I mean, it's like pulling teeth to get two black folks to partner up on something and go into a business together. Like,
but it's the white man.
Yeah, I know that's the easy way.
The white man.
That's the easy excuse. But I'm just keeping it real. Like it's so hard these days because we're so far away from what we were made of. Because let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. I know we talking black culture is trash. I said this is part 2. Yeah, I know the basis for this conversation tonight is Young Miami and her song. This whole spin that song and all of this and all the fallout that's happening from this song. But my question to the panel is, listen, anybody in the comments, drop a comment. What is it going to take? This is the part I just can't figure out. What is it going to take for black folks to get on the same page?
Nuclear war.
Like even in this conversation,
I mean, I
even,
agree with that.
Not even that. We went through COVID, y'all. We went through COVID. We went through a pan-freaking-demic.
True.
We went through a goofy president the first time. We went through all that. Did that make us come together? Hell nah.
Which goofy one?
Well, both of them. The orange one and the sleepy one. So listen. So I don't like either one of them. But yeah, like we went through all that and nothing changed. Nothing happened. That's what I'm saying, y'all. It's over, brother. It's like listen. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. We got as a community got to understand. It's like Vince said. Again, I'm a heathen. All right, the atheist. But I agree with the Exodus thing. I really do. I get it because it's done. We tried this before I was born, y'all. Y'all's time, Mr. Price, Mr. Vince, right? When y'all right?
What they try? Clue me in.
Wait. This is not this. Trust me. This is I'm going. This is not this. We did the stepfather mentoring thing before, right? Let's help these black boys, especially who are in the hood or in these horrible situations. Let's help the community. Did that help? Did it? Fuck no. It didn't help. Not at all. It didn't do anything. It just what it did do is it more or less it just let people it make the dysfunction metastasize. It made it worse. I'll use my dad as an example. My dad, 25 years in the Air Force, a linguist, makes a lot of money. Now works for NATO. I can't say exactly what he's doing. He almost on every occasion when he would help try to help a young black boy, he would get bit in the ass by the mother. They would say he needed to do it this way. He can't do this way. You can't bring my boy over here. You can't take him over here because there's white folks over there. You can't. All this goofy stuff. It's over, y'all. It's over. It's over. No, like it's done.
So you
It's
saying it's
done.
impossible? Is that what you saying? It's impossible to be
Yeah,
black?
it's impossible. It's impossible because we don't have nobody wants to really do what it takes. They want all the free stuff, but they don't want what that comes with. I can't just help you and then you say, but I want to do it the way I want. Hell nah. You asking for me, you in a subordinate position. I can help you. You need to do what I tell you to do. And if you don't want to do it, it's over. It's kind of the same thing with the dating stuff. It's the same thing with that too. You're not gonna do what I want? Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me present this to Cole. Hold on, Vince. Hold on. Let me come to Cole and I'm gonna come back to you. Cole, you still there?
I'm here.
Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible to get black folks on the same page? Just for us to unite to do one common thing. Do you think it's even possible?
Yes, but it's difficult. It's like pulling teeth. Generally, it's like pulling teeth. It is, and that's coming from my own experience. It is, but it's like pulling teeth, and sometimes people run out of patience with that. And that's speaking from what I was just talking about dealing with the trip there. I was short. I was real short with people, and they thought I was off my rocker. I'm like, I ain't got the patience for the bullshit.
Wow. Wow.
So
Okay.
I think it's gonna take. So I don't speak for the majority because I'm not part of it. Like anything I do, I ain't part of the majority. So I think it's just gonna be a lot of small groups trying to align themselves with the masses that align, in a good way. But as a collective, that shit is done.
So you talking about just small groups of like-minded individuals. That's
Yeah.
the best we
Oh
can do.
yeah. That's the best we can do as a collective. That the narrative is done. Black folks mind fucked up. It's fucked up. We pay attention to garbage.
Come on.
And again, this is only coming from just my trip back home for a couple days. The mindset is fucked. Paying attention to everything that's glittery. It's this, it's that, it's that, it's that. No.
I want
The
to say
long the
something.
long route is okay. The long route is okay.
I
So
mean, I wish I could disagree, but I mean, I
okay, let me hold on. Let me let Vince combat this. I know Vince about to combat this. Go ahead, Vince.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm a stats person. I'm a realist, and the only difference is family. That's really the
That's
nuclear
true. That's
family.
true.
If we can get
It's true.
70% of our children born in wedlock, 50% marriage rates, that's the only difference I see in these my neighbors is they have family. They've been married
Facts.
at 23. Both in-laws is married. The mother-in-law come and watch the kids. The other mother-in-law come and watch the kids. They they start a business. The cousins work there. The nephews work there. They have a barbecue or a birthday party. You can't park on the street nowhere. The only thing is family, and we are the only race of people that we don't need each other.
I was about to say
Wait a
that.
minute,
Why?
wait a minute,
Oh, go
Coco.
ahead.
Marriage is not a requirement. A husband is not a requirement. A wife is not a requirement. It's an option. If I go to school and get my education, I don't need no man. But every other race of woman got more education than y'all, but they still get a husband. Black women act like they got the holy grail of we are more educated. Asian women are more educated than y'all. White women are more educated. Asians are married at a think it's an 80-something% clip.
It's like
It
80.
Well,
ain't.
maybe they're just
Listen,
superior.
and it ain't. We keep talking
It's
about white people.
Asian women and white women are superior to black women, and that is why.
Well, there's superior because
Superior.
of what? I'm sorry,
They're
Renee.
superior to black women. That is the reason why they are more educated and get married more,
Why they get married more?
because they are superior.
What do you
In
mean?
what way? Yeah.
What is
What way?
what? Why is a
I
white
don't
woman
know.
more
You just
superior?
named their stats, and you said that the stats are a reflection of the.
No, what it is that
He
they
he
read.
never said superior though.
I say
You
superior.
Well,
said
no,
that.
I am
I
saying that. I'm saying that based on your stats. Stats.
But he didn't
show
say
superior-
that.
I know, but his
So don't.
stats show superiority.
No, that's
no.
not
What
the
I'm
point he
saying
was
is
making.
So
no.
then,
I was
why are
making
they married more?
because they want to get married more. They understand that marriage
And
is the
why don't
foundation
black women want to get married more?
because it's not a requirement and it's not
That's
important.
incorrect, sir.
Okay, so I have a theory. Then I have a theory. I have a theory. As a black woman, I
Actually,
have a theory
I hear
as
her
to
answer.
why black women aren't as invested. Let me say it that way in marriage or prioritizing marriage. I'll say it that way. Okay. And I can say this because I am a black woman and I've been a part of the conversations and I've also been talked to about this, right? For some reason, there is this ideal in our community that as women, we have to make sure that we are positioning ourselves to be able to carry all of the things, to be able to produce all of the things, to be able to exist outside the realm of a partner, of a person that's going to come with us so that we can build this thing together. We have been sold and conditioned to believe that we all we got. And you hear black women say that. I just do it myself. If I want it done right, I'll just do it myself. I can't rely on nobody myself. I can't. We have been conditioned to believe this. That's where the strong black woman narrative comes in, and we wear that mess like a trophy. Now we tired and we burned out, and you hear women saying, I'm tired of that. But we never should have taken that conditioning on. A lot of these movements that we adopted, like feminism and some of the others, we carried those movements. We did that. We carried them on our backs. Our blood, our sweat, our tears. And they did not serve us. They did not. But what they did do was condition our mindset. That's what they did do. They did that. So now we feel like as long as we got our career, as long as we got our education, we good. We don't need nobody else. We don't need anything else. We are told to go to college and focus on school and prioritize school. Don't worry about them boys. You got plenty of time for that. Don't worry about that. That's what we're told when we go off to college. When it's time for us to graduate and we get ready to go off to college, you'll probably have several aunties or cousins or whoever pull you to the side and tell you, focus on your books. Don't worry about boys. Don't give them no attention. The others are not getting that same pep talk. They're getting a different kind of conversation. They're not saying don't get your degree now. They're not telling them not to get their degree. They said no, get your degree, baby,
and get your husband.
But come out with both. You need the bachelor and the Mrs. degree. You need that MRS too. You need both. If you can get both, that's the goal. The goal is not one or the other, it's both. Because let's just be honest, you young, you hot, you're untainted. Do it now. Lock it down now.
And that's
Find you to do it with the most potential. Find you the guy that look like he's going somewhere. Get him. But see, we're not told that. We're not enough of us. Let me just say it that way. We're speaking in general terms. In general, we're not told that. It's always about be independent. And even I was told that to a certain degree, a milder version of it. But yes, that same very message. Yet my example was something different. I had my example who was not that tell me they wanted me to be able to be independent. They were not that, but that's what they told me. See, this is what I'm telling you. This is what's happening to us. So when Vince says what he says, it's not because these other women are superior. It's just because they understand something that we've been deprogrammed to realize. They understand that their family structures are the foundation strong that they can build off of to launch them wherever they're trying to go. And the more strong families they have in their community, the stronger their community is. And as far as our Black families are concerned, we can't even get on code to make it to the family reunion.
What family reunion?
If we have one. If we have one. We are not even participating. That's the point. They planning trips. They going on trips. They doing family reunions. Meanwhile, we like, I ain't spending my money on that. If I'm going, I'm gonna spend my money on what I want to spend my money on. I ain't got time for that. I want to. Who gonna be there? Who gonna be there? Because I'm beefing with her and I don't talk to her and all this foolishness instead of understanding that we actually need each other. That's what's happening to our women. And because as women, we're much more easily influenced by the culture. We're easily influenced by the conditioning because of our more pliable, softer nature, our more emotional nature. Then they can tell us these things. And if it sounds good, we just going to go with it. And we're rarely going to ask questions. That's why this song is blowing up. That's exactly why this song is blowing up. I'm going to go ahead out there and say it. And I really don't care because y'all don't care when y'all say what y'all say. So Black women are propping up this song. This song is hot because we are saying it's hot. This song is the song of the summer because we're making it the song of the summer. Whoa. We're doing that. See, while they're willing to sacrifice to make the others, while they're willing to sacrifice so that they can continue to build their community and pour into their community and have strong foundations, we're talking about what we won't do. When's the last time you've seen somebody talk about what they willing to do? Video after video after video is a Black man or a Black woman talk about what they won't do, what they won't accept, what they not gonna do. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what they are willing to do. What are you willing to stand on? A Target boycott? That's all you got? That's all you got? That's it? You're not willing to stand on anything? Where are your morals? Where are your standards? Where are they? Oh, okay. Y'all going to y'all Go-Yard bag. That's where they at. They at the bottom of that bag.
I disagree.
I'm sure you do. But I'm just simply saying that's my purview.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Renee. What do you disagree on?
Well, I agree with what she said about what's being taught to young girls when they go to college. I think I'd mentioned that, I think the last time we had chatted, that's what they get taught. I actually tried to step in with one of my client's daughters and let her know, you a sweet little, cute little, beautiful little thing. You better find somebody nice when you in school, baby girl. I tried, and her mom literally looked at me, and she had a husband and everything. They've been together for a long time, raising a beautiful family and everything, and looked at me, as though I had a multitude of heads. So I do agree with that. But what I do disagree with is, I'm not even going to say what you said, and I'm not even going to say how you said it. I'm going to say that I disagree with the fact that we keep moving the goalpost when we're having these conversations. 1 minute we're saying, oh, we as a Black people and whatever, but then we go and point out a certain...
What's the whatever? That's important.
And I'll say that, so for instance, we know that a more highly educated Black person, whether it be a male or a female, is going to have different values than somebody who's lower educated. And then we go and we put everybody into the same one box. So more than likely, the most likely outcome, and I can't guarantee this, is that the Black people that are following this Miami rhetoric is, hey, Fra, I like that. Sorry, I looked at your name. Is going to be lower educated, and then there are higher educated ones. So when it's like we we keep doing this thing where we're saying we, but then not pointing to the fact that we have higher educated people. So can we say, hey, how do we get a whole bunch of the higher educated people together to go and form the things that higher educated people could do, and then we become the ones that are influencing the lower educated ones because they're more easily influenced. That's what I would think would be a better way of attacking this than just trying to throw us all into this one melting pot, because we're not all the same.
We had this conversation with W. Du Bois a long time ago.
Okay.
W. Du Bois talked about this about the talented 10th and the talented 10th. Like, I mean, anybody who went to college, and I did political science and economics. W. Du Bois. Everybody know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not going to work, because that's just not how people work. You can't just get. Not everybody's listening to that. Just because you're highly educated doesn't mean you're smart. Doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. Doesn't mean you know what the masses are doing.
I just said they'd have different values.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. No, I agree with you. But just walk with me, Renee. I understand what you're trying to say. Like, I understand what you're saying. It just doesn't work that way. Like, it just doesn't work like that. And just because you're highly educated doesn't mean you can't be a baby mama.
Right.
The stats show that. The stats show that across the board, again, I don't want to be a jump with Vincent saying, but across the board, all the stuff that's going on, it's either you rich woman is fat and has kids, poor woman fat have kids, middle class woman fat have kids. It's really the same. There's no, like, I'm sad to say this, there's not really a line of demarcation here. Now you can say there's more people who are on the weight side who are poorer and fatter, because there's a correlation between poverty and weight. There is. And that's a conversation we should have as Americans. That's an issue. But across the board, it's very similar, right? So it's not because they're broke and poor. All these things that are affecting the Black community is affecting all of us in some degree, in some ways. So there's some values, yes, because I grew up upper middle class. I actually had family reunions, but there's still some goofy stuff I still saw and still dealt with, right? And we all know what that is. So I get what you're trying to say, Renee, but on the flip side, the stats say what the stats say. We see it.
I agree, but I also know that if certain stats are not represented, it does make the stats look lopsided. So when I hear you guys say this about our community, remember, we are fully well-versed, almost 100% in our own community. So we see each and every one of our flaws, but we're not full versed in any other community, and we don't see what their flaws are. So here we are going and ripping each other to shreds. And I think that is actually the one thing that we do that other cultures don't do. We get on lives.
Renee,
hear me out. Hey, now. We get on lives and talk a whole bunch of trash about our own people, instead of doing any and everything to put it under the rug, just like the very clear people do. Whenever one of their people does something bad, they brush that sucker under the rug and start pointing to the good things that they do. Whenever Asian people do it, because we don't know what their bad stuff is, they don't put it out to air. They don't air their dirty laundry the way we do. So I mean, and like I said, I see all the no's and all this other stuff, but to me, that's exactly proving my point. Instead of us saying, screw that, no Black person ever did anything wrong ever, we're just the greatest. I don't care that she made a song, she made more money than your people. I don't care about this. We would find a way to spin it no matter what, that Black is amazing, powerful, and incredible, no matter what the cost.
So we don't hold our people accountable.
Hold on. To start, because again, it's a narrative thing. You said that these people are controlling our narrative, and then sending a Miami out to some other country in Asia or in Japan or whatever, and that's what they think of us. So then when we go and start saying, see, look how bad it is, and then like, oh, well, we didn't know, we just thought it was cool. Now we got the Black people saying how bad it is. If the Black people say that no matter what, Black is just the single greatest, most incredible thing that ever has been existed, eventually the narrative gets changed. But instead, we're following the same narrative that we got fed, and then being mad at the people who are following the narrative that we got fed, and then being mad at the people who are fed the narrative that we got fed because we got fed that narrative. The narrative is when people see a Black person, right? Think about and say, have you guys done the shadow work of just taking a look at what you magically think automatically, like before you even got a chance to think what you think when you see another Black person, say in public, private, or whatever? because there's a lot of programming that has happened. That's the reason why when I say stuff like, no, black people are not bad, I got black people saying, yes, they are, because we're not. We're amazing. We're powerful. We are the single most incredible people on this planet. We are the single most influential. I just watched Vince roll his eyes, but we are the single most influential. We are amazing. And I will never say anything less than that. Step one, you speak life and not death. Step one.
Whew.
So Renee,
But
okay,
then
so
you
you
have
making
to.
There's a
hold
lot of
on, Vince,
contradictions in that.
hold on.
A lot of
So Renee,
contradictions.
so you're making some valid points, but I think the piece that you're leaving out is that really applies when you believe that.
I do. So I can
I
only control
understand.
me. Can you control you?
No, but I understand what you're saying. But once again, you're talking about yourself in the position that you take. A lot of people don't believe that, Renee. Let me just be
Right.
honest with you. They don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we've got people all around us, and I'm sure you've got examples around you of people who don't believe that they're the greatest.
Well, that's
You
why I
got
keep
people
telling
that
them.
no, I understand. I'm not saying that you shouldn't keep telling them that, right? You should inspire them to feel that way and eventually get themselves to that position to where they actually believe it. But we all have examples of people around us who don't believe that and they
So
don't feel that way and they've given up and they don't feel like they're the greatest and they don't understand that they're the original people and all of these things come from them and they have a great history past slavery. And I mean, I can go down the list. A lot of people don't believe that and they don't live by that.
Right.
So we got to be honest about what's going on out here. At the end of the day, a lot of our people today, I'm just going to be blunt, they become weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, they become weak and they become followers.
so
Mm-hmm.
what?
And people are feeding them things that they are buying into and they are living by.
Then we need to feed them something alternate.
Let him
I
finish,
understand.
Renee. Let him
Yeah, no,
finish.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. We need to feed them something alternate, which is why we are here. Yeah, this is why I asked the question, is it possible for us to all get on the same page? Yeah, because you made that point that you made about these others. Yep, and how folks can come together and you know, we the best people out here and we the greatest and this and that and this and that, but we already had the conversation that we can't all get on the same page. It's going to be like pulling teeth to get us on the same page. So we already know that that's not really about to happen. We're not all about to get out here talking about we the best and we doing what we need to do in this and that. Yeah, but the reason why we are here is we have to move in a better direction. Yep. So as I'm looking at folks fighting each other, yep, fighting for this spin that song, like this is something that's actually gonna help our community, fighting for the scamming, fighting for the stripper life, fighting for the robbing, yep, fighting for the Goyard bags. That's not helping us. That's not helping our young girls. That's not helping our young fellas. That's not helping women get married. That's not helping relationships thrive. That's not helping none of that. That's not helping no kids get to college. That's not helping nobody get no degrees. That's not helping nothing. That's not even making us feel better. Yeah, because after you go out here and do your scamming, and now you got to go do your little 10 to 15. And now your mama over here crying because her baby, you was such a good son and he was a good boy and all this, and now he locked up for 10 to 15. So that's not helping us at all. But we are literally out here arguing with each other, trying to support this song. I literally just watched Trick Daddy Dollars himself, going at India Ari in support of this song. That's not helping us. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we got to call this mess out, because at the end of the day, there's people who are on the fence. Yeah, there's people that's caught up in this conditioning, but it's a little something in the back of their head that's telling them, this might not be the move. I might need to do something different. And that's where we come in. Because if you want to do something different, I can tell you how to do something different. Yeah, if you want to get to a different spot, I can tell you how to get to a different spot. Yeah, but supporting this garbage in this song, this is not going to get you to a different spot. Yep, and then the other thing is that we got to look at, since we want to talk about what we out here doing, is we have ladies. Like Vince talked about this earlier. We have women like India Ari, like Nikki Gilbert, speaking against the nonsense that they see their fellow woman doing. And now they are being attacked by their own fellow woman because they don't support this song. Yep, they're being attacked by their own fellow man, aka Trick Daddy Dollars, because they don't support this song. Yep, and that's crazy. Yep, somebody got to speak up for doing the right things. Yeah, we got plenty of people speaking up for doing the wrong things. Yep, and I understand the argument that you made earlier about this may be the way, since some of these others is out here scamming and stealing and running counterfeit companies, and after they run it in the ground, they file a bankruptcy and get them. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, that's not going to work the same way for us, because it's really not us. It never was. Yeah, but see, we play into this nonsense. Yeah, we don't stand 10 toes down on what we know to be right. Yeah, we just buy in because we think it's easy, we think it's fast, and that bites us in the butt every single time. Yeah, but we still keep doing it. So yeah, at some point, we got to turn the corner. Yeah, we can't keep making excuses. I know some of my folks out here, they know better. I'm just being honest. Some of my people, they know better. Yep, they done got some teaching from somebody. They had some good parents around them. They had some good grandparents around them that instilled some things. And this Young Miami mess can come on the radio and they gonna flip the station. And then I also know that some of my people, when this mess come on the radio, when it come on in the club, they gonna run straight to the mirror. They gonna start hip rolling. They gonna start twerking. They gonna run on down the floods. They gonna get their little Cosmopolitan. They going straight over there to the mirror, and they gonna start hip rolling. And as soon as a dude walk up, they gonna be like, "Nah, I'm just dancing by myself. I'm dancing with my girls." We all done seen it. I know my people exist like that too. Yeah, but our goal is to get us to turn the corner, because we can't keep acting like this stuff not happening. We can't keep acting like this Young Miami stuff don't be influencing us. We can't keep acting like this what's the sexy red, my booty hole brown. We can't keep acting like this stuff is not influencing our young girls. Yeah, we can't keep acting like Take Me Through There. That video wasn't full of little teenage chicks. Like, we can't keep acting like that's not happening. Yeah, I want to speak highly of my people. I know some of my people know better, and I'm going to champion them and I'm going to represent them to the fullest. But then we also got to acknowledge that we got some of us that don't know better and they need some help. And they got to hear somebody tell them something different than what they thought was right. So that's where I'm at with it. Like I said, we got to go ahead and call a spade at some point. Because I said, at the end of the day, this mess ain't doing nothing but taking us into the ground. And I'm like, if we don't get in front of this mess and speak against this mess, and I don't care who it offends, if we don't speak against this mess and stop standing for this mess, yeah, we're gonna be in a bad way. You want to respond to that, Renee? I see you got that look on your face. You want to respond to that?
No, I'm trying to make sure I listened and heard everything you were saying before doing that, because that's a tendency. We tend to just hear something real quick and be listening only to respond. So like I said, I'm just thinking about what you said and making sure that I heard you for what it actually is and not for what my emotions are about it.
I got you. You're not. You say for your wait. Hold on. You just said emotions. Hold on. What's going on? What's
Well, because so here I am step one, human being, step two, black, step three,
okay?
female. My black comes before everything other than my humanity.
I got you.
And I'm thinking about switching that because I got a whole people that I love and care about.
I
So
got you.
so some of my emotions come from me being just a human being. Some of my emotions come from me being a black person. Some of them come from me being a female. Some of them come from me being a black female. So there were a few things that I just had to digest,
I got you.
before I said anything. Because like I said, some of the stuff is just emotion. Some of it is actual logic, and some of it is a combination of both. Um, but what I hear you saying is to make sure that we're not glossing over the things that are affecting our community. And I think that we shouldn't gloss over them as well. I agree with that. I also think that we gloss over the before, the during, and the after when we do that. I think that if we're going to attack it, we need to attack it for everything that it was, everything that it is, and everything that it will be. We can't just pick a single moment in time. The same way Vince was talking about how much time it took to create the company that he's in, but now, or that he owns and runs and is probably absolutely amazing at. And then he points to the fact that there's guys who want to jump right in and be like, oh, well, I want to be it like this. Well, the thing is, I look at the system that we're in and what it created. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking about what system Vince would need to do in order to create something that was as sustainable as the system, and I'm going to say it, of white supremacy that we're in, that seems to be sustaining itself. And I know people don't think that that's what we're in, but the system works very well. They made sure that there was a class that they consistently put out propaganda about, similar to Coca-Cola. You would wonder why Coca-Cola still makes advertisements when everybody already knows about Coca-Cola. Just like everybody already knows that black people are ghetto. Everybody knows that that's how black people are, but yet for some reason they spend billions of dollars backing a song like the Young Miami song. And it's because they understand that in order to perpetuate something, that you need to, back the basis of it. And what I've seen, and if you disagree, you disagree. But what I've
I got
seen
you.
in
I
this
got you.
of white supremacy is that the way they keep everybody else complacent is that everybody has the term, well, at least I'm not black. Even black people will find a way to be like, oh, well, these black people are this. And it's like, bro, that's you. That we're black people. So how do you even feel comfortable saying, oh, these black people, when that's you? How do you feel good about saying it about yourself? But somehow, even in their head, they found a way to distance themselves from black, because the way this system works is, as long as everybody has somebody to look down on, they never look up. And so when I see this and we like, oh, well, these black people, this, and I'm like, no, us. I'm not going to look down on me. So we are doing some things and we are coming together. And I'm speaking the same way I minister over you is the same way I minister to myself. If I'm telling you that you're great, that's the same as me telling me that I'm great. And that just needs to be what I do in all times. I will set that example. I might only be one person, but I will just set that example. And whoever sees me, they sees me. Whoever don't, they don't. But I can only be me. And I'm not going to point any fingers at anybody else in my own community, because I watched the success of every other community never point the finger at anybody in their own community. That's the biggest thing I have ever seen, is they don't point the finger at people in their own community. If they have to go and punish somebody in their community, then they'll go and they'll do that, maybe, outside of the public eye or whatever, but they never point the finger. And I see this as one of the biggest bases of every single other community. They make sure to back their community no matter what. There's no Asian guy saying, oh, that little Asian boy isn't my son, I'm not taking him in. He sees every single little Asian boy as his son. They're
No,
all
they do. No, they don't. No, they don't. No,
well,
they
and
don't.
when I say, hear me out, when I say Asian, I don't mean like a Korean sees a Japanese or a Japanese sees a whatever. And if that's not true, then that's fine. But is there any way that we could do that? You're saying, because from what I'm hearing, I keep trying my hardest to throw every possible solution I got. About to get teary. And it seems like there's nothing that will save
You know what it is too,
already.
Renee. I feel your. I think that I think I'm on this podcast because, like, I don't know if you know my story, but I've had like two different lives. Like I told you, I had a child at 17. I was married young. I struggled my whole life. I got successful. I got remarried. I had kids within my marriage. I was able to actually be a father and have my kids in the home. So it's like I've had a whole new do over, kind of quote unquote the right way. So a lot of my views come from so many of my experiences. And one thing I don't want to teach my kids is that you got to work 10 times as hard. No, you do your best. Just because you black don't mean you got to work 10 times as hard, because we, people ain't really working 10 times as hard. Coming from an employer, I ain't gonna say that because I don't know who watching, but I'm not gonna. Well, you got to work 10 times as hard as no. You work your best. Just because you black don't mean you have to work 10 times as hard. Do your best. Work hard. But I'm not gonna put that in their mind like, oh well, because you're black, you have to do something like this. Because that's putting an inferiority in your child just because of the color of their skin. And I know what that means because I have a son who felt that way. Then when he went to Williams College in Massachusetts and he was around others, he felt a certain way because he thought it was the color of his skin. And it really was just the lifestyle that they come from. So what I'm teaching my kids is you belong in any room. My daughter went to Roper, and I specifically wanted her to go to Roper because you belong there, and you ain't in there on some goddamn DEI either. Your daddy paid the full tuition like all these other doctors and lawyers' daddy. You there because you belong there, and you don't have to outwork the little white Asian girl. Just do your best, and you'll be successful. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that my kids can be the next president if they work hard enough. I'm not going to put that stigma on them of it's systematic racism, because my thing is get to that point first. We ain't even getting to that point where systematic racism applies. I didn't, I had a child at 17. I got into debt. I was in Dearborn, and everybody, oh man, you in Dearborn, man, you got to make sure the police ain't going to stop you, da da da. But if I'm riding around here without no license, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because it's systematic racism and that's their rules. And that's it. I have a family member. She is a and I know what this is one specific thing. No, but you know what she did? She went to school. She met her husband at 24. They had kids young, and they did things, quote unquote, the right way. So do that first, and then let's see how it turned out for us. Let's get married before we had kids first, and then let's just see how it turned out for us. Don't mess your life up, break your life, then try to fix your life after the fact. Just don't break it in the first place. But we don't want to do that. We want, well, we gonna do what we want to do. Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we got to get out that poverty victim. It's always gonna be against us. It's always something working behind. Because most of the time, it's not about color. It's about money. It's a class war. It's a class war more than anything else.
That's real right there. That's
And
real.
if you in the same class as them, they or they're in the same class as us, it really, because we at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, a better life for us and our children.
Let me get Civil in there. Civil, I know you've been waiting, man. Go ahead, Civil. What's on you?
Man, it's like, where do I even start? Because there's been a lot of different topics covered right now. Ultimately, I think everybody is kind of saying the same thing. We would like to see the black culture start to do better. And it's just differing opinions on how we achieve it. I personally don't think saying, hey, you're the greatest is going to do anything without them actually putting in the work to become the greatest. But at the same time, I know that it's not over, because I am one of those kids who literally should not be here talking to you guys. I don't like to talk about money much, but I do very well for myself, and my family is just fine. And that all happened because I got to see other opportunities outside of going to the junior high school that funnels you into jail or prison or death. And I understand, Renee, getting emotional and being so passionate about something, because she is a woman. That is something that's very mothering and caring, and like that's supposed to be there. I respect your tears. I understand Vince's point of view because he's a person that got it himself. He's a person that did the bad things at the beginning and then came around and actually did very well for himself in the end. So it's really hard to see that what is manipulating that is something beyond and outside of us. It is a system. Vince doesn't have an opportunity to pass his knowledge and his opportunities forward to another young black man because that system tells young black men that working hard and getting it out the mud is a waste of time. You need to go directly to being an owner. You need to go directly to having all this money. You need to go directly to not working 12, 13 hours a day. When in reality, if you want to be successful, that's what it takes. You have to get up at 4 a.m. You have to go to bed when all of your competition goes to sleep. And you have to have a stable job to bring in income because we don't have these families that have the opportunity to just say, hey, here's $100,000. Go start your first business, son. Good luck. We don't have that. And in which case we have to work with what we have. And what we have is an inability. It's like a way we avoid suffering so much. Like we don't want to put the work in. We don't want to build the foundation. And it's going to take people like Beatboxer, Mr. Price, Vince, myself, Joe, actually doing things and setting examples for young black men. The Big Brother program was not a massive, overwhelming success because the system pushed all of the positive stories and things that happened out of that towards NWA. That's why A Tribe Called Quest didn't get as big as they should have been. That's why The Roots didn't get as big as they should have been. That's why Black Eyed Peas didn't blow up until they put Fergie in the group. There's a reason why all these things happen. And it's up to us, individuals, to do things of note. I do woodshop classes. I teach kids about growing herbs and growing their own plants, and then they can do whatever they want with it. None of those things are easy. I could have paid to have somebody build my sauna, but my kids had to see me out there sweating my ass off and doing it because it's the message that they receive that's counterintuitive to what society pushes. Algorithms, and I had this conversation with Coco a while ago. In order to change algorithms, we have to present new information. So if you see a woman that's acting ratchet, and you can't just say you're great, because then that is what the algorithm will push. You have to combat that. You have to provide a different example. Because if you don't, we get what we have right now, which is shit. Like legitimately. I went from going to an elementary where all these kids are gangbanging and we never shared report cards. My mom made sure that I got bussed out to a good school in junior high. And then I remember the first time people got the report cards and they were talking about it and sharing it. I was like, oh, hey, I'm not going to do all of that. I can't show that because I was embarrassed. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess that means that I do need to perform. I do have expectations of myself. And a lot of that probably comes from the fact that I'm probably like a certifiable narcissist. I think I'm the greatest thing in the world. But at the same time, I understand that people out there do need help.
Oh, come on.
And it doesn't mean that you give them money. It doesn't mean that you give them time. You need to give them tools. How can you take care of yourself? Oh, you need to eat right. You need to exercise. You should know how to use a hammer. You should know how to change a tire. But if no one ever shows them that, regardless of what happens to them after they gain the knowledge, they never have that to fall back on. They can't fall back on being a plumber. They can't fall back on being an electrician. It doesn't even exist as an opportunity for them. They're blind to it. And I'm going to end up ranting because like I am, like she said, like I'm very, very passionate about this because we can be successful. It took a generation or two to get us where we're at now. It could take a generation or two to get us out of this hole. And it really just starts from shows like this. I do this 100% just to put a different message of a black man out there. And I think most of the people on this panel do the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's real, man. I appreciate that that comment right there. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. We're gonna take some closing. Yeah, this has been a good one. It's been a good one, man. Let me come across the top and the bottom, and we're gonna get out of here. Coco, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, just so the title was Black Culture is Trash. This is part 2 because we have done this before. We are having to turn these things into a series because there's just always so many things to talk about. I just want to just remind the audience that's watching, we don't create the videos we react to. We don't create the videos we react to. There are thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of videos like the ones that we showed tonight. So when we say things like Black culture is trash, it is because we are speaking to the general population. We know there's a remnant. We know there's a remnant. Okay. Unfortunately, they are, and we are, and those who make up the remnant are, once again, the remnant. We are the minority. So the messages that are getting pushed and what we're seeing on our feeds, and listen, even if you watch, all you watch is cat videos, at some point, something is going to show up on your feed because they're pushing it to you. They're pushing it to you. Like Renee said earlier, it is an agenda. I don't disagree with that. My problem is, why do we feed it? As Black people, we perpetuate some of these stereotypes. Yes, they absolutely have spoken some of these things over us. They tried to say we were lazy because we stopped wanting to work for them for free. They said that, Black women are angry. Now, listen, we got some attitudes on us. We do. And if Black women are honest about that, we do got some attitudes on us. So all I am asking, and I think some of the other people on this panel is asking the audience to understand, is that when are you going to take personal accountability for the part that you play in how we got where we are? And as a community, when are we going to start taking personal accountability for the part that we played? This does not exclude the fact that there's an agenda. This does not exclude the fact that there are certain narratives that get pushed, because those things are a factor. But at what point are we going to take personal accountability for the way that we participate in the degradation of our community? Because it can't always be, I speak sunshine and rainbows over you. If I love you, I'm going to need to call you out. And you're going to have to call me out too, because I'm not always right and I'm not always perfect. So you're going to have to tell me, I didn't like what you said, or you didn't say that right. And listen, there's a conversation that needs to be had. I appreciate Renee making the comment that she made earlier when she said, let me process what you said and think about it without just responding just from an emotional place. Right? That's awesome, because we all need to be doing that. And it is not easy, by the way. It really isn't. But that's awesome. That's what we all need to be doing. That's how we have these conversations, and we're able to actually be effective with them, because we're not just responding. We're just not listening to respond. We're listening and understanding the process, because even though we might not like initially what is said, there could be truth to it. So we have to have the conversations. We have to say what we're seeing. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about the dysfunction. Unfortunately, as Black people, we put a lot of our own business in the streets. So I do agree that you might not see a bunch of Asians having podcasts talking about what's going wrong with the Asian community. Okay. You probably won't see a whole lot of that. You might see individuals that might speak on certain things, but you're probably not going to see whole platforms where this is all they do. But that's also because they really don't be putting their business out like that too frequently. They don't do a whole lot of that. We do. We do. So if we're going to do that, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's have the conversations, because I guarantee you they having them. I do also want to end this too by saying this. Like, this is my personal request. This is my personal request for women. As a woman, I would just like to ask that we start taking personal development seriously, that we start actually caring about how we move and how we look and how we represent ourselves out here in the world. Because unfortunately, I see a lot of women making excuses for bad behavior, for poor decisions, for things that they actually could change in their lives, but they're looking for someone to blame about it. I see a lot of victimhood amongst women. I feel like I see a lot of women. Let me take feel out of it because I actually do see this. So it's not about my feelings. I see a lot of women, saying, but, and this Black woman trope that we do, this, oh, everybody's against the Black woman. Like, I need you to be so for real right now. This is a time where Black women actually have a lot of sway. Y'all got a lot of sway. Y'all got a lot of motion out here. So can we please stop putting y'all in a victim position? Because as Black women, we are not in a victim position. We're not. We're really not. The stats don't say that. The way the world moves around us doesn't say that. So I think that, that right there, I would like to see that change. And I would like to see us as Black women really stand in a place of ownership of how we contribute. Because Black women, we got a lot of influence over our culture. We didn't do this all on our own. It's not all our fault. So I'm not saying that. But we got a lot of influence. We're raising the kids. We're raising them with or without a father. So before we start saying, why me, why me, we need to be asking ourselves, what did I do? What could I have done? And how can I do better?
That's real. Appreciate that closeout right there. All right, Renee, it's on you. You want to say anything before we get out of here?
Okay, sorry, the mic was acting up.
You good.
This was just an amazing panel. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is one of the highlights of my life. I know everybody's talking about everything they got going on, but I will tell you, this is one of the highlights of my life. I tell my friends now. So I will say that, yes, as always, a lot of things are said. But I just want to remember, I guess, that the goal is always for us to figure out ways of actually getting to our end game, like our end result, what we're trying to actually achieve. And some of it is, like you guys had said, like you said, not being like having victimhood. But the hardest issue is, and I'm saying I wanted to request it, but what exactly is victimhood? Because if somebody were SA'd and they cry every day and we just tell them, well, you know what, it's not like it's happening right now, you need to get over it. And it's like, okay, you're being a victim. And it's like, well, because they were victimized. And so I noticed that a lot of people will beat themselves up. See, there's just something wrong with me. I'm unable to get up out of the bed and just do what it takes to make my life better because I'm just being like, I'm in victimhood. But it sucks because like if something like that were to happen to my daughter, my son, my brother, my father, my aunt, I would never just tell them, well, you just need to get the hell over it. I would first make sure to acknowledge everything that they went through. And I don't know if it's because the woman in me wants to be all extra empathetic for some reason, but that's always my first go-to. My grandma told me you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. So I'm more likely to be nicer to someone and be more understanding first. And then hopefully once I've gotten them into a softer place, maybe then I can start to help them with the other things that I want them to achieve. So when I hear us go straight for the jugular, y'all just need to be accountable. I feel like that's not really the best way to reach people. I feel like letting them know what led you to this point and understand that there are so many mitigating factors that led you guys to here. And then say, okay, so now that we've got that and you're aware of those things, now these are all the tools that we have to start getting us to where we want to be.
We'll leave it right there. That's where you at.
That's it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that closeout right there. Beatboxing. You want to say anything before we get out of here, man?
Cole said she wants to go before me. She didn't go before me.
Cole, you still there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's on you. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll try to be brief. So, in response to the last close, I get it. And in certain situations, Quay and Coco know me. I mean, I've been put in those positions. And there's been a period for sure where I think I've had that victimhood, not knowing it, but just where I was at. And the solution was at some point, yeah, acknowledging the things, but then also self-reflecting and really being true on where I want to go and being honest on what the journey is going to be. So being honest and knowing that my starting line might be 200 yards from where I need to be. And the work is harder. At the end of the day, looking at this pure logically, you got to do what you got to do. And that's the logic side of me. And that's just, people can call it being more masculine. I don't even know. But that's just what it is. If you're trying to take a piece of pie out of this life, depending on where you start, it's gonna take some hard work. It's gonna take some tears. And I mean, maybe again, I said I'm not a majority. I'm not. So certain black folks, I could get two shits about. The excuses at this point, I could get two shits. And I could just look at them and be like, oh, okay, you want that bullshit, I'm out.
Ooh.
Because that's what it is. That's just what it is. Like certain stuff, I'm like, okay, I want that, but I ain't got that. I might need this person to help me with that, and that's just being real on knowing what you need to do to get to what you want.
That's real.
But to the topic, the culture is trash. It is. It definitely is. Like I said, as a collective, we just looking at what's shiny, and that might be, again, this small group of black folks passing off as the collective. But I ain't with it, and what I want may not be what the majority want, and I'm good with that. But I know I'm
Ooh-wee.
gonna be fulfilled in this life. That's the last thing I do.
There it is. There it is. Okay, you gonna leave that like that,
I'm leaving
Cole?
it
Is that
like
why you
that. You
wanted to
know
go
it.
first? That why you wanted to go first? All right, now I appreciate that closeout. All right, beatboxer, it's on you, man. You gotta follow
What's
up on Cole, man. What you got?
no? I love follow. I like that because I feel as though I say something and Cole wants to say something after me. So it's better this way. I think. But yeah, like I think first things, I think something a through line I kept hearing throughout this discussion tonight was what other groups do, and how we're manipulated. I don't know if I agree with all that. I think sometimes we're a little myopic as people in how we view things. Like white people aren't as united as y'all think. We know that that's just not what's going on. It's whoever's in power at the time, right? But number two, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Like Asian men are not getting married like that. They're not having children like that. It's like 25% of them are having children. 25. The women are not staying with them. They're having discussions about that.
Right.
I want y'all to know that. They're having discussions about why won't our women stay with us? White men, hey, only about 30 something percent of them are having children. They're having discuss. That's why we see some of this conservative angst we're seeing right now. Because a lot of white guys ain't getting sex. They're not having children. That's why you're seeing some of this stuff that's going on because they can't sexually compete. Like we got the power, we got the money. Why don't our women want us? And Becky's saying, We don't want y'all like that. That's why you're seeing some of the stuff you're seeing. All right. So we're not the only group that's our stuff is in the street. It's a little bit, it just looks different. It just seems different. But everybody's stuff is in the street. I'm sorry. I'm just telling y'all, it's in the street. I mean, even Paco's stuff, they're all different. They voted for certain things. Now some of them are getting sent out of here. Now you're seeing all them infighting against each other. Again, we are not the only group, y'all. I just want y'all to know we're not the only group. We sometimes we view things like, oh, woe was me. Yeah, trust me, especially a guy who lives in a progressive state, I get to see all of it. Like, oh, everybody's fucked up. But to be honest, yeah, there's issues on our community. There's bright spots as well, but there's a lot of issues that we just have to be honest about, y'all. We just have to be. And what Vince said, I'll say it. I agree with him. I've said it too. Get married or get in a long-term relationship, hell, and try to keep and stay there, because you'll create wealth that way. Wealth really will help you stem off a lot of the systematic stuff we talk about. It really does. I'm sorry, it does. And the generations before us, Renee, you might even agree with me, failed at that. That's why we get put back over and over and over again. My parents did me and my brother well. They set us up well. So there's things I'd never really dealt with. Some of the stuff y'all talking about, I'm like, I've never dealt with that. I don't know what y'all talking about, right? Because my parents and the ones that came before them set me up in a certain way where even if you're going to hear about it, see it, I didn't deal with it. So black folks, if y'all want to really do things the right way, set yourself up, especially financially, so you won't see and deal with some of this goofy stuff. Please, it makes it so much better. It really does. I see it all the time with a lot of my brothers. They're set up well. They got good jobs. A lot of them got good houses. Most of them ain't married. That's another conversation. But a lot of the things we hear, like black people, they ain't dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that because we set our lives up in such a way that we won't deal with the most. Doesn't mean we won't deal with anything. Let me be clear. There's things we will always deal with. There's a lot of that stuff like, oh, this person did that to me. I can't relate to you, brother. You got to set yourself up a little bit better. That's all I got to say.
Okay. I appreciate that closeout right there, man. Vince, it's on you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but something happening with my sound. That's why I had to come, start going anyway. But to answer the point, our black culture is classic because our black families are trash. And I think the first thing we can do is we have to change the culture in our own families. And by me and Remy having grown kids from divorce, kids from teenage pregnancies, we understand the importance of not managing kids, but actually raising kids. And what I want to do is give the example to my 5-year-old daughter that she can trust a man. She can love a man. She can build with a man because she's seen how, and she knows what love is from a man because she's seen how I love her mother. My older kids didn't get that. Her older kids didn't get that. And we see the results from that. My son will see a man providing and protecting from day one, not in and out, not around the block, not down the street, not co-parenting, not a stepdaddy, his daddy that he looked just like and will always be there. So first, we have to change the culture in our own families. And once we change ourselves, change the world.
That's facts right there, man. That's facts. Yeah, it definitely starts by leading, with leading by example. Let me say this and we're gonna get on out of here, man. We can fix this. Yeah, we can turn this around, man. I'm optimistic. I don't even think it's the hardest thing to do, but we got to make a decision. Yeah, we got to make a decision to do something different. Yeah, but I just think that we're dealing with a lot of folks who are, first of all, scared to make the decision. And two, we dealing with folks that don't want to do the work after the decision is made. Yeah, that's the key. Because folks can make decision, but then it needs to be followed by some work and some effort. Yeah, but I think that's sometimes where the challenge come in. But we can fix this. We can change it. Yeah, but I think there's a lot of us who want to. Yeah, but it's going to involve some effort and it's going to involve some work. And it's also going to involve some self-reflection and looking at how you moving currently. And that's what it is. Yep, going back to the title, Black culture is trash. Yes, this thing that we are now calling culture, yeah, it is trash. If this wasn't our culture, but what we are living in now is a culture that is a combination of a lot of different things that we've been given and fed. If this is what we call culture now, yeah, but that's not the culture that we come from. That's not the culture that we started from. Yep, to Vince's point, man, family was a priority for us. Yeah, relationships and marriage was a priority for us. You know, when we go back and look at some of these older stories, these was families. These was farmers, families, wives, husbands, kids, towns, businesses. But it's like this is we in some other stuff now. And like I said, add that into all of the nonsense that we've fed and absorbed as culture. It's got us all over the place. So, man, we got to make a decision, man. We got to make a decision that we want to do something different. And then we got to put some effort behind it, man. That's where it's at for me. Well, man, shout out to my panel, man. Shout out to Coco. Shout out to Renee in the building. Shout out to Beatboxers. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Civil. Shout out to Vince. I think that was everybody on the panel, man. We was deep tonight. It was a full panel tonight. Shout out to everybody in the comments as well. I appreciate y'all dropping y'all comments all night. I just want to echo something that Civil said. He said he comes on the show to essentially put a different mindset out there or put a different influence out there. And that's what it takes. Yep, that's what it takes. Yep, there's effort there. There's, you know what I'm saying, the mindset of trying to put a different influence on folks, show them something different, show them something better. That's what it takes. Yep, that's what it takes. So yeah, man, we can turn this corner, man, but we gotta want to. But man, it's Kandid Konvos, man. We do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go live on YouTube and Facebook. So if you haven't already, smash that like button. Smash that like button, man. Y'all be so stingy with them likes, man. Be stingy with the likes. Smash that like button. And hit that subscribe, man. Like I said, we're trying to get to 5,000, man. We're trying to get to 5,000. And we're getting there too. But better yet, no, we're going to get there. We're going to hit that 5,000. Let me go ahead and say that now. We're going to hit that. But yeah, y'all got to hit that subscribe, man. And like I said, turn on your notifications so you know when we drop content, man. But man, with that being said, man, everybody have an awesome night, man. And we're going to catch y'all on the next one.